the sky. It was raised eye level through trees. And it was going left to right, right? Left to right. It was not a plane because the speed it was moving was not plane speed, right? You know, like, and at the distance it was, you as every person, I mean, my 2-year-old can point out a plane in the sky. I'm like, oh, plane. Every person could point out, you would have pointed, I would have said it's a plane. I wouldn't even have this fucking conversation if I thought it was a plane. It wasn't any type of hot air balloon because that wasn't even moving up to down. It was going left to right. And the speed in which it was moving was something that I've never, it wasn't like warp speed, but it was humming. Hello and welcome to the Vinny Brusco Show podcast. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Subscribe, rate, review. You know the deal. You know the situation, the algorithm, the importance of the algorithm, whatever. Spread the word, tell a friend, spread the knowledge and what the podcast is trying to do, which is elevate us as individuals.
And here we go.
I believe in aliens. That's obviously, right? And leaving work a few months ago, I took a hiatus from the podcast for a little bit, just took like a month off. Maybe I was abducted by aliens. I don't know, but I took like a month off from doing the podcast. I wanted to redo some stuff in the pod shed and cameras and boards and want to put some insulation here because it gets fucking balls cold in here. But leaving work a few months back, I saw something which by definition, I would consider it a UFO. Now, I'm not saying that no one could have identified this thing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I couldn't identify it. I could not identify this thing that was moving through the air. And it was moving what seemed like tree line, like higher up than tree line, but like on that level, like through the trees, kind of not like if it was going. It wasn't like brushing through trees, but the skyline element of things made it look like it was going through trees. So it wasn't like up above in the sky. It was raised eye level through trees. And it was going left to right, right? Left to right. It was not a plane because the speed it was moving was not plane speed, right? You know, like, and at the distance it was, you as every person, I mean, my 2-year-old can point out a plane in the sky. I'm like, oh, plane. Every person could point out, you would have pointed, I would have said it's a plane. I wouldn't even have this fucking conversation if I thought it was a plane. It wasn't any type of hot air balloon because that wasn't even moving up to down. It was going left to right. And the speed in which it was moving was something that I've never, it wasn't like warp speed, but it was humming. Like if you were next to this thing, it would have made that noise, right? It had like that speed flare to it. And the color of it was this iridescent green, bluish, bulbish shaped thing. It was just going in my mind. Now, it was 4:30 in the afternoon. I was leaving work a little bit early. Kill me, okay? But it was 4:30 in the afternoon. And I was walking to my car and I saw it and I instantly called my wife. I was like, I just saw a fucking UFO. And she goes, I'm in the car with the kids. I was like, okay, just saw a UFO. And by definition, in my world, I couldn't identify what this thing was. So by my definition, I did see a unidentifiable, from my lens and my perspective and my experience of life, it was unidentifiable flying object. Take it for what you will. And I'm not one of these. I believe in UFOs. I believe in UFO sightings. I believe that these things happen, right? And maybe I was abducted that day and I'm still operating in that spaceship and they've hijacked my consciousness. And this is what I think I'm doing right now. And quite frankly, I'm on a table and there's a light in front of me and they're probing me. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that I can't even put into words what it was like. It was out of this world, quite frankly, because I'm not one of these people that's like, and I even like Googled the next day, you know, UFO sighting in Westchester, nothing came up, like old articles or whatever. Nothing from the previous day. I'm not one of these kooks. I mean, not by my definition. And I believe in UFOs. I believe that obviously, especially now with more government documents coming out and all this and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw something that was an unidentifiable flying object. And that was in November. So just putting it out there because I think it's noteworthy. I'm excited about it. My wife's like, of course you would see that. And she didn't mean that in like, of course you did, weirdo. She meant like, of all people who are going to have conversations with people on the beach about their souls, or who's going to bump into a surfer, or who's going to see a UFO, you're the person that's going to see it. Like, that's just my trajectory of life. Yeah. So that was my UFO experience. I don't know if it was a sighting. I guess it would be. Technically, it would be a sighting. But yeah, that was my UFO experience. That was my UFO story. Do you have a UFO story? If you do, comment down below and share it with us. Thanks. Spread the word. Tell a friend.